Hello everyone and welcome to Run Saber, an action platformer with some small similarities to Strider, but really it's its own thing. We chose the female character who has the more vertical-oriented attack. We could have chosen the male who had a more horizontal attack, but that works worse for almost everything. We just grabbed a power-up which makes our Saber Slash a lot bigger. Our regular Saber Slash is pretty pathetic, but fortunately we get to keep this upgrade until we die. And these things falling from the sky will not hurt us unless we walk directly into them without making an effort to attack. You might notice that we can climb walls. That's where the similarities with Strider come in. Right here we come across the thing that was spawning those falling creatures, but it dies in one hit. And then you'll see that in addition to our Saber, we can attack while jumping by pressing up. Doing that makes our jump a lot smaller, but it increases our potential maneuverability a lot. These three machines spawn tiny droids that we can easily destroy with our very vertical Saber or with a kick, a mid-air kick, which we can do by pressing down while we're in the air. The kick doesn't have a huge range, but again, it increases our potential maneuverability. Our maneuverability while fighting enemies, obviously, because there's always going to be enemies. And here you'll see our attack jump in action a lot more. We could have crawled across the ceiling, because we can cling to any surface in this game, but crawling across the ceiling is less ideal because it gives these things a chance to come up underneath you. So just stay below them instead. I do believe every time at least two of them drop health pickups, and you can see our health meter up there in the top left. Yeah, it just gained another little notch on it. In case you're wondering who these enemies we're fighting are, they are just mutated people, all of them. Some of them are more horribly mutated than others, which I'm sure is obvious. A lot of them have mutated inside the things they were piloting or standing next to at the time of the massive mutation. And yes, we did drop down to the floor of this room only to climb right back up. This is not the last time we'll be doing that. Alright, it's mini-boss time, but first we need to break the mini-boss out of his container by hitting it a few times. We want to be on the right side of the screen when it breaks out, though. Because after it breaks out, we can cheese it by standing in this corner and smashing the attack button. We will stun lock it very quickly. You shouldn't think that just because this game's in 2D, it's free from being cheesed out. There are plenty of ways to cheese the enemies in this game, and I intend to show them off. We don't want to fight these guys if we can avoid them, but this one has to go because he was guarding an extra life. Those guys have homing shots, though, so they can be a bit rough to deal with. And here's a bunch of ladies that were mutated into this wall. Sucks to be them. They can shoot missiles out of their hair and they die in one hit, except for the red one. She dies in a few hits, so we're going to use our special attack on her. And then we'll finish her off with one more slash. This is our first boss, and a lot of the mutated crewmen will try to come out of the ship to destroy us, but we can kill them as soon as they spawn. It's just about knowing where they appear, and the big one is right here in the cockpit. The plane does another loop-de-loop while we're fighting this thing, and that's unfortunate because it can come up underneath us while the loop-de-loop is happening. But when this happens, we'll just use another special attack to finish it off. The special attacks, of course, deal more damage than our Saber does, otherwise there would be no point.